What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Will. The Memory Lapse, coming to you from Brooklyn, as usual. Finishing up a quick constructed here that I think we're going to win, depending on our opponent's top deck. Not good enough. But the purpose of this video is to try our hand at a little meme deck we've been concocting. But let's finish off our opponent. Another 7-win run with the bug deck. If you haven't checked that out, I strongly suggest you do. It's fun. Wins a lot. Oh, Gilded Lotus. But there's a card from Dominaria that I thought was pretty cool. And it's kind of hard to build around in general, but I wanted to take a shot at it. And it's a very all-or-nothing deck, but it is Kamahl's Druidic Vow. So, green X, legendary sorcery. So right away, this is a card that demands a couple things. Like, you need to have a lot of mana in play to make it worthwhile. So you need to be dedicating a portion of your deck to ramping up. But it's also a legendary sorcery, so you cannot cast it unless you have a legendary creature or planeswalker in play. Legendary artifacts don't count, which sucks. Makes it that much harder to resolve because legendary artifacts in general are going to stick around a little more often, I think, than, say, like a Karn, which we are playing 4 of. But the effect here, look at the top X cards of your library, put any number of land and or legendary permanent cards with a converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest into your graveyard. So, the idea of this deck is we're going to ramp up. Treasure Map kind of counts as ramp too, because you're going to flip it and get the tokens, which create mana. Grow from the Ashes, Spring Mind. I had the cycling one here, but in games where you kind of stall out, I think Mind is a good backup to like get a little velocity and find what you need. 2 Monolith accelerates us and plays nicely with Karn. 2 Settles just to have them. If we're blessed and paired against a mid-range deck, that's going to give us a few extra turns to try to meme on them and go off. Having a Settle can blow them out. So Karn as our card draw engine, the -2 to help us just stay in the game, and he serves a good purpose of like, so sometimes you'll like plus him, then play your Kamahl, and then you get going to another one. So and he's colorless, so that really helps. Like you notice that everything else we're basically playing one of. I haven't tested this card yet, but I figured there is a likelihood that we're going to get stuck with some of this high-end stuff in our hand. We're not going to be able to play it. We are playing the basics that we need, but I don't think, even with all of our fixing, I don't think we can rely on being able to say hard cast a Daragaz. So yeah, we've got a Lyra, a Teferi, a Tatiova. I think the way this interacts with Kamahl's Druidic Vow is a combo, so let's cross our fingers and hope if we pull that off. Vraska, Nicol Bolas, Daragaz, Zatalpa, Gishath, Zakama. So basically just playing one of every big, medium to highly impactful legend that I have in the collection. And then this is something else that I'm trying. So this is kind of a 2 memes in one. The value is passed on to you, the customer. Lich's Mastery. So the playing in previous iterations of this, the thing that kind of sucks is vowing off for like 6 or more. Ideally you want to vow for 8 or more so you can hit your high-end stuff. And then just losing, because you get like 2 things and a bunch of lands, and they just kill you. So, Lich's Mastery, we're going to try this. Vowing into Masteries, and, hopefully that functions as a way for us to stay in the game 1 or 2 more turns until we get another Vow. And it's not exactly an OTK deck, but the idea is that you're going to overwhelm them so much off of 1 or 2 vows that the board is going to be just impossible for them to break through. So let's take it for a spin, and we're not going to take this into quick constructed because I don't think we have a chance at all to beat red deck. I have no idea how to warp this deck to beat red deck because you have so many different things you're trying to do between ramping up, getting a legendary permanent that enables the sorcery, casting the sorcery, resolving it, and then having a critical mass of big things in the deck to hit off the sorcery. So it really is like a uh, just when the stars align, you get to look really cool. But let's see if we can get that to happen here. So this hand is, I guess, okay. I mean, I don't know what we're expecting, right? But we have a piece of ramp. We've got Karns. Most of our deck is basic forest. Okay. Might as well play these tap for now. Alright, so we're going to have spring. And if we find one more land, hopefully we'll have spring into kicked grows. Oh, that's a bad sign for us. I think we're still springing here. We have double white. I think we want to start getting blue in case we're ever going to flash back these mines. So already, I mean, you know, this is the problem with this deck is that aggro is just very good and very popular right now. That there's not really a good combination of draws where you're going to be able to beat like even a very just like whatever turn 3 Steel Leaf champion. Well, let's see. That's not entirely true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we might be able to get Nicol Bolas down next turn. If we get red blue. So we can play Nicol Bolas. 7 the Steel Leaf. Alright. Yeah, so we're basically dead. Do we have any out here? Well, Nicol Bolas Plus is probably pretty good too, right? Oh, no, it only does theirs. We would almost have a shot if we were able to play Zakama here, but we're still going to be a mana shy of casting this. And we also only have the one red source for the activations. Yeah, even if we take out a Steel Leaf here, they can still, I mean, unless they just like unless they don't ignore the Nicol Bolas, they still have lethal. So take your time. Find your lethal. Okay. Oh, actually they didn't. Okay, they opted not to lethal us. Unfortunately, we still brick. Let's see what they got on top of their deck. Because if we get a land, it doesn't have summoning sickness. Yeah. If we had gotten a land, we could have played Zakama, which could at least block, and we could kill something. But no dice, so let's just concede this one. Our opponent didn't take lethal last turn. Let's give it to him. And let's try again, as I do want to get a good meme. It's very cool when you cast it. But people, oh, it's the same player. So this person's on mono green aggro again. It's just very annoying that aggro decks are so well positioned that you really can't effectively play anything fun and expect to have games where you don't just get blown out in 4 turns. But alright, I guess we have to mulligan this because we have absolutely 0 acceleration. And we know what deck they are. Yuck. Alright, let's just hope we draw into something. We have got our pieces basically, which is Karn and Kamahl's Druidic Vow. It sucks to play like 12 pieces of acceleration and not get any until you mulligan to 5. If they have their yeah, let's just concede here and go on to the next one, and not queue into a turn 2 5/4. There's an issue with this card in that the more you kind of set up your deck to play defensively, the thinner you're going to be. So you could turn this into like green white with ramp and settles and seal aways. But then what's your what's your top end? You know, you're losing the power level of like of actually casting the sorcery. And that's kind of the point of the deck. Alright, so we have our Vow. We have our Grow from the Ashes. We're going second, which is not good. Not where this deck ever wants to be. If they lead with Mountain, we know we're fucked. Okay, I can get behind that. This is safe because Sun Petal is the only duel we're playing, just because of the settles that we have. Okay. Ugh. What I wouldn't give... maybe this deck should be playing the Dinosaur ramp spell, because the difference between rampant growth and like spring is... it's pretty severe. And we do have some dinos in the top end. I don't think we even play enough black, do we, to ever hardcast Lich's Mastery, but that's... well, I guess we do if you count the monolith. If we... I'm assuming we're going to scoop this game in 2 turns because we're doing nothing again. But we'll swap over. Ugh. We're going to lose to Huatli. On the upside of this, you know, we're giving a lot of people who are trying to climb into Masters some free wins here. So it's kind of like charity. Yeah, so here's where we're super punished, where we actually ramped a little bit, and it would be great to do like a baby Druidic Vow, like for 4, and try to find like a Karn and some lands, but you just can't do it. Like, I guess the effect is so powerful that they figured that was a good way to gate it, but honestly, it's like such a hard card to build around already that it seems a little bit like this didn't need to be a legendary sorcery. So we're basically dead next turn unless we draw a settle here. Lich's Mastery will not help us because they're just going to crush us. But let's just scoop right now, actually, and make that change. Oh, sigh. We'll give this a couple more attempts. What's that card called? It's in the 3-drop section, right? Is it a 2-drop that costs 1 more, or is it a 3-drop that costs 1 less? I can never remember. No, it must be a 2-drop that costs 1 more. I've been playing this for like, what, 6 or 8 weeks now, and I still have not learned the names of like these basic cards. Hello? Where are you? Is it actually just... oh, here it is, Thunderherd Migration. So Thunderherd Migration... I guess we'll take out these springs. And... we can cut an island. We can cut 2 islands and go up 2 plains. Or we can even better... put in the green-white cycle land. Let's see, because we have what? 1, 2, 3... 3 dinosaurs. So we have some chance that if we get a big dino stuck in hand, those will be reduced. Oh, yeah, let's save. Kamahl's Druidic Vow. Oh, let's go. I just want to get it off one time so y'all can see that this is something that you can do. And just imagine, I think this is a deck that actually gets like fringe playable once Kaladesh comes in with sideboards, where people will actually be punished for just running like mono red or mono green because they have to actually play 3 games and their opponents get to respond. Well, that's at least the hope. Alright, so this is actually a reasonably reactive hand. We're actually going to be able to cast Settle the Wreckage, and if we draw a dinosaur, we get a cheap Thunderherd next turn. We don't want to draw the dinosaur. I probably should have played this, but I was thinking I might want to save it to cycle it. See if this gets countered. If they spin a negate here, that's fine. So let's see. I guess we'll get red. I'm trying to think about if we draw like some of our dinosaurs, red, black, green, stuff like that, or our dragons. So we're gonna get a window to play Karn here. Let's see what they discarded. Negate an island, so that's great for us. So let's just play the Scattergroves tapped. And Karn up. So we actually get to play this Daragaz probably in 2 turns. Oh, there's the Vow. Let's see if they give it to us. Oh, weird, they didn't give it to us. Well, we can just keep playing lands and plussing Karn until we want to minus and go for the Vow. As long as they're not putting crazy pressure on it. Yeah, 2 a turn is okay. It's not going to our face, so this could be a game where we get to do something. Oh, Teferi. Give us the land. Depending on what they do, we might even try to settle here. Excellent binding. That's okay. So we're just going to untap and Daragaz them next turn. Unfortunately, this card's not so good. Like, against a deck that's going to be playing a lot of cast out effects. Wow, we just natural drew all of our Lich's Masteries? Come on. Smash. So again, because the deck list is so tight, we're not running like Brontosaurs or anything that's going to be able to get the Excellence Binding back for us. Or get the Karn out from under it. We're not running any way to cheat. Oh, I guess we are running the portal that will let us cheat a Lich's Mastery to play if we need. Oh, so I guess they have a seal away here. I have to imagine. Okay, hey. So this card, by the way, I just don't get this card. Like, why you make this card. It's... You could put a little bit better text on this thing. Like, it costs 7 in 3 different colors. Flying Trample Haste is great, but Trample is kind of like a Namba with flying. Let's see the seal away. That'll let us get our gateway down. So now if we draw any of our blanks, we actually get to do something with them and put them into play at end of turn. So we're, again, halfway to meming here. That'll help us cheat like a Karn into play through a counterspell. I think we want to settle here. Oh, they didn't even attack. Nice. It's a little too risky to put Lich's Mastery into play yet. Might as well kick. And what do we need still? Blue. Black. Might as well get them out of the deck. We have plenty of life. We're racing this. So we need to find, like, Nicol Bolas. Unfortunately, again, I know that I've complained about this before, but the fact that the Vraska -3 can't answer a Planeswalker is just so weird to me. I want to get this off the board to make our Lich's Mastery a little bit better. I can't believe we drew all three in the top 20 cards of our deck. But I like this opponent. They're letting us try to do our thing here. Brick. But at least we're thinning our deck. There's no card draw. Like, the whole plan is to play Vow, right? That's where you're gonna get almost all your advantage. Play Vow or play whatever big stuff you draw. But we just drew a bad mix here. We're gonna be forced to put this into play next turn because they're going to probably ult to Fairy and start trying to remove our permanents. And if I were them, the Temporal Gateway seems like the only way they possibly lose this game, so that would be the first thing I'd remove. In fact, that might even be a reason to put this into play now. We can also use this as a way to kill ourselves. Double legend them, and then I lose the game when one of them leaves the battlefield, so there you go. That's kind of a meme too, kill yourself with Lich's Mastery. Okay, brick. A Karn would be such a good draw. We can cheat it into play, minus, like... any Planeswalker. I mean, anything would be a good draw right now. We're just getting denied. Okay. Hopefully they don't have like a poll and they just take our whole board here. If they do, I'm gonna kill myself to deny them the pleasure of getting to remove everything. But they've been our most generous opponent so far. They're not trying to beat us with a turn 2/5/4. Okay. Your emblem. Oh, this looks like a thing. So there's a fairy. I guess we can give it one more draw, but like probably what 90% chance we draw land and just scoop. So let's see. I'm trying to think of what we could even draw into their hand. Alright, you know what? Let's just do this. try one more. That would have been, I think that would have been good if we had not drawn all three Lich's Masters. If even just one of these had been, like, any of our other big legendary things that we can cheat into play, I think it actually would. Wait, did that not? Oh, wow. Okay, so one says you can't lose the game, and it stacks under. That's really funny. I thought that would suicide us. Oh, look. Our third grow from the ashes. Our draws are absurd this game. Alright. I have no interest in playing that out. Oh, man. What a bummer. I actually did win, like, 2 or 3 games with this yesterday out of, like, 6. I was winning the games I was playing against non-aggro decks. It's tough. It's tough trying to do interesting things in best of 1. We can only hope that tomorrow, which is supposedly when they're doing their economy post, which of course we'll do a video to talk about, also talks about in more detail some of the plans for the June update, because they have not really officially announced anything yet. We can keep this. We can at least ramp into settle. If they're a slow deck, we might even be able to hold grow to kick it. Looks like they're slow. Well, we haven't drawn a treasure map yet. This treasure map also really makes this deck hum. You get that big bump of mana, you get to smooth the draws. Yeah, I think we do need to save this to kick it so we can get black and, like, red. So we can play both of our, or get close to playing both of our planeswalkers in hand. We're definitely going to have time. This is probably like a blue-white Karn deck. Maybe the extra turns deck, which I also built, but that's too much of a real deck. Just on card quality, it's too much of a real deck. Oh man, if this deck just had an unconditional rampant growth and not like the bullshit ramp that's in the format right now, I think it could actually be like, you know, win 25 or 30% of your games. Like, because you're just going to get draws that actually come together where you're not waiting until turn 5 to do something. I guess we have to go for this. It's almost certainly getting countered, right? Like, they've just done nothing the whole game. But if they're sitting on Essence Scatters... Yeah. This gets countered, and now we just sit back until we lose. Okay, good game. This is a very good illustration of how polarized the format is, which I talked about in other videos, that we basically only played against blue-white control and beatdown decks. This deck, if it beats anything, is probably mid-range, because they're going to let you play stuff and not interact with you. Then you can potentially go over the top with the Druidic Vow. But yeah, we're never going to beat aggro, and we're never going to beat control. And that's all we're pairing into right now. On top of that, we're just drawing all lands. The only thing we've drawn this game is lands. Alright, one more. We should just concede here, because that's miserable. One game where we resolve a Karn and, like, actually do something, please. Alright, so we're playing against this blue-white control person again. So we want to keep a really ramp-heavy treasure map hand. Oh, this is so unkeepable. I guess we have to keep because of the Karn. Ugh. We have all these uncastables. Okay, here we go. Karn treasure map. And migration. Done. It's a little awkward to keep migration, because I think we're going to have to upkeep use the treasure map here. Now this player just saw us play only green and white lands last turn. So if I'm them, I'm kind of wondering like what the heck is going on. Did I have a basic mountain in my deck? I guess we just cross our fingers and hope to draw a land here. Okay, that counts. So even if they counter this, at least we have a land drop. Unfortunately, we can't play around Syncopate because this comes into play tapped and... Alright, so pretty well. Oh, we kept them from activating their map. I think we have to wait on the Karn. I don't want to play it into the Supreme Will. Instead of stopping our upkeep again. We'll flip the treasure map next turn. Okay, cool. So unless they have negate, we'll at least get to resolve Karn here. Or we can resolve... I mean, unless they have negate, we can try to resolve Nicol Bolas here. Right? How likely is it that they have negate? We do want that. I think we'd rather try to resolve that, right? No. I think we have to blow the Nicol Bolas here to kill their... Right? So we need blue, black, red. Oh my god. I'm still in my upkeep. I hate how it gives you like 3 fucking triggers in your upkeep if you just pause it there. Thankfully it lets you get those back if you fuck up. If they have negate or syncopate, like, ugh. I'd be sad. Okay, they don't. So we just scorch this Teferi. Now they're going to have to spend their turn dealing with this, which will give us an opening to play down the Gateway or the Karn, whichever we want. And we can start destroying their hand. What are they going to do with that mana? It looked like they did that in their main phase. Or maybe they did that in their upkeep to fix their draw. So this is the first time I'm going to get to activate. I've had a Nicol Bolas on my collection for like 2 weeks. I've never built with it. It's got a lot of text, which usually scales inversely with its ability to win games, like on a given card. Our opponent's in the tank. Oh, they're just going to approach us here, huh? Oh, that's kind of a nombo with Nicol Bolas, because we can track the top of their deck. Let's get 2 cards out of their hand. get Karn down. This Temporal Gateway can wait, because this Vraska is not going to do anything for us this game. I wonder which one they're going to give us. I'm guessing... Oh, wow, they didn't give us the Lich's Mastery. So we also can just win with Lich's Mastery. Like, they're not going to be able to get their approach off. So what did they discard? Spell Swindle and Settle the Wreckage. Jeez. No lands this time, huh? Put a little more pressure on their hand here. I think we want to get this gateway down. And that'll give us a window next turn to like minus Karn. And get the Lich's Mastery. They can't possibly win this turn. They don't even have the 7 lands, yeah. But they can't dig. Treasure map. I don't think we want Monolith at this point. Yeah, we'd rather get land. So it's -1. Get the Lich's Mastery. Exile the last 2 cards in their hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can do a baby... no, you know what? I don't think we even want to risk doing the vow here. I think we want to just save to put the Lich's Mastery in case they naturally draw a second approach. Okay. We don't want another Lich's Mastery. We do want to put one into play. Oh no. Well, at least we got a win. Well, the fact that that was the way we won, it kind of inspires me to try to make a Thrawn's Gateway deck. But let's see. I don't know. Maybe I'll try playing this deck on stream sometime. But it didn't come together. We could have cast one, but it just wouldn't have been good enough for 5. Like, you really want to cast it for 8 or 9 and put a bunch of cool stuff into play. But anyways, thanks for tolerating this experiment. I wanted to try to do something cooler while we're waiting for the big patch tomorrow, and I had bad quest this morning. But I also have this deck that we can play around with. I copied it from Channel Fireball. LSV was playing this. Oh, that's the wrong land. But I think it's a standard deck. Like, he was playing it standard on Magic Online, and it just doesn't play any Kaladesh cards. It's just a like standard legal semi-competitive deck. It's somewhere in between blue-white control and the blue-white mid-range deck that I did a video for a couple weeks ago. And I only have 3 cards Temporal Sundering. LSV plays 4, and the idea is you just get like Planeswalkers down and start taking extra turns and running away with the game that way. It seems a little win more, but maybe we'll try this deck tomorrow morning if our quest lines up with it. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to get something posted today. Sorry that memes didn't come through. Thanks for hanging out, and let's all cross our fingers that we finally get that economy post tomorrow. Later.